Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. GH spoilers, Jason digs into Dalton, unearthing truths about Emma and Joss. General Hospital spoilers, tease. Police Commissioner Anna Devane's Finola Hughes suspicions about Henry Hank Dalton's Daniel Goddard mysterious tech project have led her to enlist Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, to dig into his activities, sparking intrigue in Port Charles. Anna's plea comes amid whispers that Dalton's AI development could pose a threat financially tied to Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rhoda. But Jason's investigation might uncover more than Dalton's secrets. It could expose Emma Scorpio Drake, Braden Bruner, as a covert WSB agent, a bombshell that would stun everyone, and reveal Jocelyn Jack's Eden McCoy already known WSB role to her unaware family. If Jason learns Joss is an agent, will he tell Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, especially as she's poised to be furious over his silence about Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, being the father of Sasha Gilmore Corbin's Sophia Matson baby? Fans speculate he'll stay quiet, but at what cost? Emma's potential waspy secret. Jason's probe into Dalton, possibly involving surveillance or hacking Dalton's lab, could lead to a shocking discovery. Emma, whose Berkeley past is sealed behind non-disclosure agreements, might be a WSB operative working alongside WSB Chief Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna, to monitor Dalton's tech. Her close connection to Dalton could be a cover, not a case of a college student with a crush on her professor. If Jason uncovers this truth, it will flip perceptions of Emma, raised by Robin Scorpio Drake, Kimberly McCullough. Will this revelation rock Port Charles, or will Emma's skills keep her hidden? Joss's WSB role risks exposure. Joss's secret as a WSB agent, known to viewers but not her family, could surface if Jason's investigation catches her circling Dalton, perhaps during a covert op at a tech showcase. If he spots her working with Vaughn, Bryce Durfee, or accessing Dalton's files, Jason might confront her, forcing her to admit her role. With Carly already primed to be livid over Jason's concealment of Michael being the father of Sasha's baby, Jason's instinct to protect Joss might lead him to keep her wispy secret from Carly. But if Carly learns he hid another truth, will their bond fracture further? Still, will Jason leave Carly subjected to a relationship with Jack when he has clearly lured her daughter into becoming a spy behind her family's back? A web of secrets begins to unravel. Jason's digging could ignite a firestorm, exposing Emma and Joss' WSB ties while straining his ties with Carly. GH fans speculate Jason's silence on Joss will come back to bite him when Carly blows up. Will Jason's investigation into Dalton unearth Emma and Joss' secrets, and can he shield Joss from Carly's wrath without losing her trust? How can he protect her from Jack's bad intentions toward her and her family if he can't tell her the truth about what he has done to Joss and how he has compromised her? It seems Jason is about to be in quite the pickle. Stay tuned for more GH news and spoilers to see how he handles it. GH spoilers, Jason digs into Dalton, unearthing explosive truths about Emma and Joss. Port Charles will never be the same after what Jason Morgan uncovers. In a chilling twist that has General Hospital fans glued to their screens, Jason Morgan is doing what he does best, digging into secrets that were never meant to be found. This time, his target is the mysterious and increasingly dangerous agent John Jagger Dalton. But in true Port Charles fashion, this investigation is leading him straight to two young women caught in a storm they never saw coming, Emma Scorpio Drake and Jocelyn Jacks. As Jason peels back the layers of deception surrounding Dalton, what he discovers may forever alter the lives of the Scorpio Drake Jacks and Corinthos families. Get ready for an emotional roller coaster as Jason's quest for the truth pulls him deeper into a web of lies, half-truths, and buried motives. Jason's instincts go into overdrive? Ever since Jason reemerged in Port Charles after years away, his sixth sense for shady behavior has been on high alert. While many were hesitant to trust him, especially with his recent connection to the FBI, Jason has slowly been proving that his loyalty to those he loves has never wavered. But no one is more suspicious in Jason's eyes right now than Agent John Jagger Dalton, the Fed with a murky past and an even murkier agenda. Jason's gut tells him Dalton isn't just here on official business. He's hiding something big. And after a tense encounter between Dalton and Emma Scorpio Drake at GH, Jason's alarm bells went off like never before. A strange encounter at GH. It all began when Jason noticed Emma looking visibly shaken after a brief hallway interaction with Dalton. Emma, always calm under pressure and far more composed than most her age, seemed rattled, almost scared. Jason, ever the silent observer, filed it away, but when Jocelyn Jacks later mentioned she saw Dalton snooping around the Quartermain boathouse, everything clicked into place. Why was a federal agent poking around a private estate? Why did Emma look like she'd seen a ghost? Jason knew one thing. He had to get to the bottom of it. Emma's hidden past comes to light. As Jason starts digging, he leans on some trusted allies, namely Anna Devane and Spinelli, to help him trace Dalton's movements, past cases, and any connection he might have to the Scorpio Drake family. What he uncovers shocks him. Years ago, during a WSB operation that Anna and Robert Scorpio were loosely connected to, Dalton's name showed up in classified files involving the South American cartel, not just as an agent, but as a potential double agent suspected of going dark for months. The case was buried, swept under layers of red tape, but Anna always felt like there were loose ends. Jason's investigation reveals that during Dalton's rogue period, a young girl, bearing a striking resemblance to Emma, was briefly held by a criminal faction that had been chasing after Anna. The incident was never officially reported. Emma, who was just 10 at the time, had barely mentioned it since. Could Emma have been targeted all those years ago because of Dalton? Jocelyn's dangerous curiosity. Meanwhile, Jocelyn has been on her own mission. Suspicious of the increased federal presence in Port Charles and feeling the ghost of her past with Dex still haunting her, Joss has started trailing Dalton. She's smart, tech-savvy, and underestimated by most. And she's found patterns. Phone calls to untraceable numbers, late-night meetings near the pier, and that strange obsession Dalton seems to have with Anna and anyone connected to her. But Joss doesn't realize how much danger she's in until it's too late. One night, after tailing Dalton to the GH parking garage, Joss spots him speaking in hushed tones with a man in a dark SUV. She tries to get a photo, but her phone's flash goes off. Dalton sees her, and now Jocelyn is a target. Jason to the rescue. As Joss's whereabouts go radio silent, it's Emma who sounds the alarm. She rushes to Jason, tears in her eyes, panic in her voice, and tells him Joss had been looking into Dalton, that she might have found something she wasn't supposed to. Jason doesn't waste a second. Using his tech connection with Spinelli, he tracks Jocelyn's phone to a remote warehouse on the outskirts of Port Charles. He gets there just in time, bursting through the door in full Jason mode, fists flying and bullets dodge, taking down 2 armed men guarding her. Dalton is gone, but Joss is safe, shaken, bruised, and terrified, but alive. Joss confesses everything. Back at the Corinthos compound, Joss tells Jason and Carly everything. She reveals how she'd been following Dalton for weeks, gathering photos, logging suspicious activity, and she shows Jason a screenshot she managed to save before being caught. It's grainy, but unmistakable. Dalton speaking to someone who looks disturbingly like an ex-WSB agent presumed dead. Jason realizes this isn't just about protecting Emma or Joss. It's a much larger conspiracy. Dalton may be working with remnants of the rogue WSB factions, and Port Charles is ground zero. But the bombshell doesn't stop there. Emma's heartbreaking memory. Later, Emma opens up to Jason in a quiet moment. They sit in the hospital chapel, sunlight streaming through stained glass, and she finally tells him the truth. When I was a little girl, I remember a man with a badge. He told me my mom was in danger. He said I needed to come with him to protect her. I trusted him. Emma's voice breaks. But it wasn't true. I was taken, and I only got away because someone helped me escape. A janitor, I think. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to scare my parents. I pretended it was a dream. Jason's blood runs cold. It matches the classified files exactly. Emma was abducted by a man working for the cartel, possibly manipulated by Dalton or even under his command. The trauma buried itself deep, but now it's resurfacing. And Jason knows Dalton's return to Port Charles isn't coincidence. Carly and Anna go on the offensive. With Jason now fully committed to taking Dalton down, Carly joins forces with Anna Devane. The two powerhouse women begin building their own dossier, reaching out to contacts at the WSB, Interpol, and the Justice Department. What they find confirms the worst. Dalton was involved in multiple unsanctioned missions. He's suspected of laundering information, misleading allies, and potentially grooming agents for private use. Anna is disgusted and furious that the Bureau let him return to active status. But now it's personal. Dalton targeted her daughter, and Carly's daughter too. And in Port Charles, no one messes with their children and walks away unscathed. Showdown on the docks. The story hurtles toward a dramatic crescendo when Jason sets a trap for Dalton. Using intel from Joss's investigation and Spinelli's tracking, Jason pinpoints the time and location of Dalton's next meeting. It happens on the docks. Classic Port Charles setting. Fog rolling in, shadows flickering under dim lights. Jason waits in silence, gun drawn. When Dalton appears, Jason confronts him, demanding the truth. Dalton smiles. You don't even know who the real enemy is, Morgan. You think this is about Emma, about Jocelyn. You're still playing checkers, and I'm already playing chess. Jason doesn't flinch. Then tell me who's moving the pieces. Dalton gives a cryptic answer before backup arrives. Sonny's men, Carly, Anna, even Dante. With nowhere to run, Dalton is arrested, but he warns them all. You've only scratched the surface. There's more, much more. The aftermath. Fallout begins. With Dalton behind bars, questions multiply. What is the rogue waspy faction planning? Who else in Port Charles is compromised? And why were Emma and Jocelyn the specific targets? Emma begins therapy to process her resurfaced trauma, with Anna by her side every step of the way. Joss, now more determined than ever, starts documenting her findings in a digital archive, vowing to protect her friends and never be blindsided again. And Jason? He's back in his element. Protector, enforcer, truth seeker. He's not letting his guard down because he knows this is just the beginning. Coming next, the return of another ghost? As the dust settles, Jason receives an encrypted file from a mysterious sender. Inside is footage, grainy surveillance from overseas, a man who looks exactly like Morgan Corinthos. Jason's jaw clenches. Dalton may be gone, but the ghosts he stirred are far from finished.